Episode 5 of Loki was glorious, and we've gotten some hints at Kang being behind the TVA as well, but more specifically, which version. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Episode 5 of Loki was crazy, wild, and glorious, really. Classic Loki was my favorite part about it. It was just a crazy fight. I loved seeing Throg in it. Throg? Yeah, that's the proper term. Throg and that spear Mjolnir in the ground. President Loki was a fun character, as well as Kid Loki and Alligator Loki. But enough about episode 5. We're here to talk about Kang and which version of Kang we might be seeing in the series going forward. Sorry about my voice. I'm getting over some sickness here today, guys. Also, Mobius was back. God, I was so happy to see him again. And he looks like he's going back to the TVA to change it for the better, which we'll probably see in Loki season 2, which starts production next year, actually. Probably early, I imagine. Probably within the first half of it. And at the end of the episode, we see that the Lokis are about to face off with the creator of the TVA, who we are all assuming is Kang. But in the comics, there are tons of different versions of Kang, and I actually think the one who is behind this is Immortus. Now, in the comics, Immortus was made by the Timekeepers, and then he eventually became Kang later on down the line. So, story-wise, it just makes sense for this to be Immortus, and he'll battle Loki and Sylvie and become Kang afterwards, and we'll see him as Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. Also, next episode, I think Ravonna's memories are finally gonna get repaired to some degree, and we're gonna start to see the beginnings of the relationship between her and Kang, like in the comics. Whether her memory gets restored through Sylvie or Kang, we have yet to know. And as for the TVA, I still think they have a future, because like I briefly mentioned earlier, there is a season 2 of Loki planned to start production next year in 2022, and season 2 is probably going to have no connection whatsoever to season 1 as far as the storyline it follows, I believe. Oh, quick note, I'd also seen a theory that the TVA is in the quantum realm. That does make sense, but I'm going to hold my reserves on that, because I've been looking into Fantastic Four, which, by the way, I'm making a whole video about this, but I think that city might be run by Psycho Man, who is a villain of the Fantastic Four. And essentially, the main thing I'm going to try to say here, and I will expand upon later on in a different videos, that Loki, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, and Fantastic Four seem to have some sort of connection to each other, especially Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium and Fantastic Four. And the potential person who was in charge of that city in the quantum realm that everyone thinks is the TVA, but it might not be, is Psycho Man, who is a Fantastic Four villain that actually has appeared in the Fox cartoons. As for the origin of Kang or Immortus, maybe it's like the comics. He was created by the Timekeepers and killed them and had androids take their place. Or the version I like more is that he's just a man named Nathaniel Richards, who is from the future, who is insanely smart, who may or may not be related to Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. And essentially, he created all of this because he's crazy. He has issues, and all this leads him down to becoming Kang and a really big threat for the Avengers and the MCU, or Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, I guess it would be a better term. What's going on, everyone? Editor NT here, and I just had one little thing to add, because this is the next day after I recorded the video. Next morning, why, really? And one thing that I've seen a lot talk about on the internet is that the final boss, or the big villain of the series, is actually a Loki variant, and I don't think that's true unless they want to make Kang a Loki variant, but that'd be a really odd choice in general, like way more odd than making Enchantress a Loki variant, but I don't think they're gonna do that. And the reason why I think people were saying that is because there's still unused trailer footage of him, gaining power and winning, and I think that's just Kang trying to appeal to his classic Loki. I think that's just Kang trying to appear to his classic Loki nature, and he's probably or Immortus appearing to his classic Loki nature and trying to tempt him by giving him his own timeline where he wins, which is why we see him in the Avengers Tower and in that throne room. That was really it. That's it. That's all the bases I've covered for that I wanted to. All right, bye. Back to the video. Also, something is up with Miss Minutes, man. I feel like she's a spy for Kang. Or Immortus. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it just feels weird, man. And with that, brings us to the end of this video. If you like this super nerdy content, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anime, theories, reaction videos, and we're gonna start getting into news later this fall, hopefully, then this is the spot for you. Go ahead and like and subscribe and become a part of the community, and share in your favorite subreddit, Instagram, Twitter groups, Facebook groups, because we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So with that, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.